just a little bit about Drake. First of all, really want to give a shout out to all those that came and supported us. I feel like that match at Drake is really becoming kind of a home match for us. We have a lot of fans from the Cedar Valley that come, a lot of friends and family, and then we just have a really good support group from the Des Moines area, several alumni. I think there was probably 15 plus alumni with their families there. So it was a lot of fun during the match, and also after the match getting to connect with some of those people or reconnect. So it was a great match that way. I think the other thing is you always talk about when we meet up with Drake, especially at Drake, it's always a really competitive match. And even though we were able to win in 3, I still felt like it was a very competitive match. And I do give Drake a lot of credit. They're a team that has dealt with a lot of injuries throughout the season, and it's a team in my mind that has just really been able to switch people around and still find ways to be competitive. So I thought they played a really good match, especially under the circumstances that they've had. But as far as our side of the net, I thought for the most part, we had a great match. I think the serve and pass game, which is the part that I talk about up here a lot, was a little bit inconsistent. I think the positive spin on that was that we were able to do some things, not passing as well as we should have and not serving as tough as possible. So meaning we were able to better that second ball and get a decent swing out of it. Defensively, I thought we were probably one of the scrappiest we've been this year. So we were able to handle them being in system more often than we would like to see. So we did make some positives out of our serve and pass game probably not being where it needed to be. Our attack percentage offensively was good as a team. I think you look at Kaylissa, again, hitting over 500 as a freshman. She just continues to amaze me with some of the stats that she's had, but really has become a go-to player for us in a lot of situations. Kate Buswitz had a great attack percentage for the position she's in, going back and forth with left and middle, so really positive. Carly, again, a double-double, but I think the biggest thing, she led in both kills and digs for the match, so really picking up her game on the defensive side too, which is something that we've definitely challenged her with. And again, really positive with Rachel. I love what she's trying to do offensively. She's making some what I would call out-of-the-box decisions at times to kind of push our offense and to challenge some of our attackers, so that's been really good to see on her side as well. As far as this week, it's a big weekend for us in terms of competition. Loyola and Valpo played Bradley and Illinois State this weekend. And it just shows you the craziness of this conference. Both of them split, and Valpo is a team that, when we saw earlier in this season, had a few injuries, but I cannot believe how much Karen has done with that team and how hard they're playing right now and what they're capable of doing. They had a tough 5-set loss against Illinois State, but then turned around and beat Bradley in 3, and then Loyola split as well. So just a very competitive conference this year. Loyola, to me, is a team that offensively, they don't really have any go-to players except for that night. So if they have somebody, they're very balanced, but then they have anyone that can really go on a tear on certain nights, and then they'll just keep setting that person. So they have very capable hitters, and anyone can do exceptionally well on certain nights. So they're a little bit difficult to defend in that way. So meaning I can't focus on one or two players because they have people that are very capable of then stepping up. Defensively, they're the leading blocking team in the conference, and then Valpo is the second leading blocking team, so we will be challenged with the block. What I think Loyola does better than any team in the conference is they have blockers that are very good at diving and dropping, so they constantly keep you offensively on your toes, not really knowing what to do and where to attack. So I think especially for their team being as young as they are, that's a very high-level skill. So very impressed with their ability at the blocking side of things. They're also a tough serving team. I think they're second in the conference in aces, so really bring a tough serving game to our McLeod Center as well. And then Valpo, like I said, second in blocking, so we'll be tough in that area. Always scrappy on defense. They have one of the best liberos in the conference. Offensively, very balanced. I think both setters are, for sure, Loyola is the top as far as active setters in the conference, and then Valpo is probably next. And as I talked last week, we have not seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of 6-2s, so having an active setter at the net is definitely something we're going to have to work on this week. We have not prepared that way a lot this year because we've just been going against a lot of 6-2s, and they're very different. So that'll be a big focus for us. I was really glad to have one match. We gave our teams Saturday and Sunday off, so they got to be kind of normal people for one day, and also be able to rest both physically and mentally this time of year. To have that opportunity, I think, will be huge. So we're excited to get into the gym today and start getting after it to get prepared for the weekend. We also do recognize our 3 seniors, Carly, Rachel, and Abby, on Saturday night. So looking forward to recognizing them in front of our home crowd and having a little thing after. But we usually do that at the banquet at the end because we don't want to make it feel so final. We have a lot we want to do yet. So I'm excited to be able to recognize them in front of our fans for sure. Any questions?
Does this have kind of a little bit different feel just with you hosting the conference tournament, the final home weekend of the year?
It does. And, we've talked a lot about that in terms of, this could be our seniors' last matches in the McLeod Center. But just having the opportunity to host obviously adds more to that. So we know for sure we get one more match in the McLeod Center. So we're excited about that. But I think, it's big for us because I think playing well at home is extremely important. And I think we've been pretty inconsistent with that this year. So looking forward to having that opportunity before we head into the conference tournament to have the weekend right before at home as well.
How important is it for this team to go out for the outright conference title, not just have another split title this season?
I think, obviously it's our mission every year to win a conference championship. And I just think it's a great indicator of your body of work across an entire conference season. I think the biggest part about being able to play well this weekend and hopefully that turning into wins is just the fact of we still want to continue to get better, because even though we've had a body of work over an entire regular season, it is the conference tournament champion that gets that automatic bid. So we want to still get better this weekend, and we still want to play hard and find ways to figure out how you're going to play teams for the 3rd time and come out successful. So I think that's a bigger part of it. Obviously winning a conference championship outright is, would be awesome, but I think just winning a conference championship in general is pretty awesome.
Look at how balanced the league has been. I know you've had a couple 5-set matches that have gone your way, but what do you feel has allowed your team to kind of find that separation when a lot of these other teams are kind of knocking each other off?
Yeah, and it's interesting because we don't feel that separation. We have been able to win a lot of, or come up on the winning side of a lot of matches that have been really close. And even the ones that haven't gone 5, we've had matches that, like Loyola last time, we probably should have lost the 4th set, but we found a way to score 8 straight points and not lose that set. So that was another match that could have easily went 5, and, anything can happen in the 5th. So I think that for us, we just, as a team, as a staff, we have so much respect for our conference, and having one loss at this point, really, we feel kind of fortunate with that. Just as competitive as the league is and how close our matches have been. There's not anyone that we've walked away and felt like, okay, we totally had control of that match the entire time. And I think that's okay. That's the one thing about volleyball. You don't have to have control of the entire match to be able to be successful. So even the teams that are towards the bottom, like I said, Drake, we had a really competitive match, and they're towards the bottom of the conference. So just have a lot of respect for each opponent in our conference. All right. Thank you.